Hello everyone. I hope you are all doing fine. In this video, I'm going to show you all that how the basic analysis of horoscope can be done, someone's birth horoscope can be done. And to learn this, you don't need to, like, it's not something that would require many years of study to master the basic techniques of horoscope analysis. One can easily learn to analyze horoscope at the basic level, and that basic level would also not be kind of like superficial knowledge. It would still give you lots of insight if you can analyze someone's horoscope at the basic level. You can have lots of insight about the kind of life that the person is living, or what kind of events can happen in that person's life. And in 6 to 7 months, if you study sincerely under the guidance of a good teacher, you can learn this. It's not something very difficult. So I'll just, for example, that how simple it is, or how easy it is to analyze someone's horoscope, and how much information you can extract about the life of the person from the birth horoscope of the person. Here I am showing you one example. So this is horoscope of a person who was born on September 30th, 1965. As you can see, uh, in the it's written here on the screen, and the time of birth is 4:47:56 a.m. The place of birth is somewhere in Europe. I'm deliberately not revealing the place of birth to protect the privacy of the person. Here, the birth horoscope of the person is displayed in the North Indian format. I could have also displayed it in the South Indian format or the East Indian formats. All the formats in which birth horoscope is presented are same. Whether you uh, present it in the North Indian format or the South Indian format or the East Indian format, they are just different styles of presenting the same data. The data is that how the sky looked at the time of the birth of the person, and where which planets were where at the time of the birth of the person. So it's actually a matter of convenience that which format of horoscope presentation you use, whether you use North Indian format or the South Indian format or the East Indian format. Or I can also even display the Vedic horoscope through that round dial format, which many people use in the for presenting the Western horoscope. So Vedic horoscope is also always based on sidereal zodiac, and we need to choose the right ayanamsha. So this horoscope is presented in the Lahari ayanamsha. These are technical things. When you learn astrology, you are taught about all these things. So here is this horoscope. Uh, this is in any North Indian horoscope. This box is always the first house, and here 6 is written. So this means that when the person was born, Virgo was the sign that was rising in the eastern horizon at the place of his birth. So he is Virgo ascendant rising or Virgo Lagna. And Mercury is placed in Virgo in the first house. So this single factor, that Mercury, who is the lord of the ascendant or the Lagna lord, is placed in the first house itself. And Mercury is known to be very happy when placed in the first house. He gains directional strength in the first house. This gives lots of strength to this horoscope. And Mercury is not only the first house ruler, Mercury is also the 10th house ruler. So this is this one single factor, that first house ruler Mercury and the 10th house ruler Mercury, they uh, Mercury ruling these two important houses and placed in the first house in his own sign, the sign where he feels exalted also. And uh, and first house is anyway the one of the favorite houses of Mercury. So it raises the quality of this horoscope, the strength of the horoscope manifold. And this is a promise that this man can have a very uh, eventful life, and he can gain lots of status, lots of position in life, even if he is born in a not so well off family. uh, he will be, because second lord is also well placed. But if with this factor, even if the family was not very good at the time of birth, this person would rise to a higher status and high level of position in society and profession. Based on this one factor, we can say this. Now, sun is also placed here. Who is sun? Sun is 12th house ruler. First of all, when sun is placed along with the first house ruler in the first house, this means good overall good health and good vitality, good energy that would be available to the person. The person will be active. Sun in the first house can give him some little bit of pitta dosha, some extra heat can be there in the body, but overall it would be good energy for him. His personality will be something that people will easily not notice, and he will have that personal charisma, that presence, that wherever he goes, people will notice him, and he will be active, he will be energetic. All those things are good. And who is sun is ruling 12th house. So 12th house ruler is placed in the first house along with 10th lord and first lord Mercury. This means that he can spend a good amount of time uh, in a foreign land, maybe due to his profession. It is possible because Mercury is 12th 10th house ruler also, so that is possible. And so overall, based on the fact that first house is very strong, which is occupied by the first lord Mercury and sun, and Mercury is also the 10th lord, I would say this horoscope belongs to someone who is quite successful in his life, who is quite who is having quite a good quality of life. At least overall life quality, I would rate it as good, and the person would find good success, and the personality of the person will also be strong, and the health, overall health, will also be good. So based on this, I can at least make this conclusion. Then if you move ahead and see the second house, where the sign is Libra and Venus is placed in the second house in his own sign Libra, so this is another very good placement. This means this person will have good wealth condition, he will have good food available to him, he would have good command over spoken language. Anyway, Mercury is also strong, second house is also strong now, so he will have good command over speech, he will have good connection with his family traditions. He can be able to create good amount of bank balance for himself. All these basic conclusions we can draw. He can be good looking also, because second house is also the house of face. First house is overall personality, which is also likely to be good because first lord Mercury is placed in the first house. So this person can be little young looking also. And then second house, which is the house of face, where uh, Venus or Shukra is placed. This means he can have a very attractive face, and he can have a very like pleasant voice also, because second house is also the house of voice. So he can impress people with his voice when he speaks. So all those things we can conclude about second house. Then we can make judgment about third house. Third house is a Scorpio sign. Mars is placed there, Ketu is placed there. Mars is the ruler of Scorpio sign, Ketu is the co-ruler of the Scorpio sign. So both the rulers of third house are placed in the third house, and moon is also placed in the third house. Moon is 11th house ruler. So this gives lots of strength to the third house. So third house can play a very strong role in his life, and that can also give him a source of earning, because moon, which is the 11th house of earning, is 11th house ruler of earning, is placed in the third house. So this man, what is third house? Third house is the house of courage. It's a house of communication. It's house of taking new initiatives. It's house of uh, enterprise, sales, marketing, lots of traveling, and going away from home, because it is 12th from the fourth house. It uh, third house is also the house of self expression, art, advertisement. So all these things can play a very strong role in this person's life. Third house is also the house of siblings, especially younger sibling. So this person can have one younger sibling, not more than one, because Ketu is placed here. So mostly when Ketu or Rahu are placed in the third house, most likely, I'm not saying it's always will be true, but most likely there will be just one more sibling after you. And thereafter, it would be little difficult to have more siblings after your immediate younger sibling. Either there can be no younger sibling also. That can also be possible. So, but since I see that Mars is also placed there, Moon is placed there, so there is a likelihood of this person having uh, at least one younger sibling. It's a fact he has one younger sibling, but the connection, the relationship with the younger sibling may not be very good, because these two cruel planets are there, although they rule the third house, but still they are cruel. So the warmth, although a Moon is also placed there, but Moon is very big because of being placed close with Ketu and then placed in a sign of debilitation. So there is a younger sibling, but the connection is not very good, and they both do not share a very uh, cordial relationship. Uh, but yes, as I said, third house is going to be very important house for this horoscope, and this person does lots of third house related activities like sales, marketing, and teamwork, going and attending into many kind of meetings, uh, company meetings, and other kinds of corporate meetings. All these are third house activities. Being involved in lots of management work, administrative work, and lots of traveling also he does. He's mostly traveling and away from his place of birth, due to traveling, due to doing his work. So all those things would be, and he would be a very courageous person. He can make his own, he can have that courage to do things on his own and make his own path in life. So it's not going to be a very relaxed and comfortable life with this for this person, but he can still be seen as a someone who is very enterprising and very courageous to go out and do things on his own. All those things would be there. Now fourth house is Sagittarius sign. uh, Fourth lord Jupiter is placed in the 10th house, and what we see, Jupiter is capable of seeing fourth house also from there. So that is kind of promise that he will have a good house to live. Wherever he will go, he will stay at a good place. But overall, when fourth lord is placed in the 10th house, uh, where you live would depend upon your work. And this person can also treat his workplace as his second home. So he may spend a lot of time at his workplace, and he may derive his happiness from his work also. And one interesting thing, when I was analyzing second house, I said second house ruler, Venus is placed in the second house, and that is further supported since Jupiter is also looking at this second house. So that also increases the quality of second house, wealth, family life, food, speech, everything that I have said there. So now coming back to fourth house, fourth house is kind of, as I said, fourth lord is placed in the 10th, so it would be dictated whatever work he does. Very often, his life, his living place, where he is living, that would be very much decided by his work. So And then we also see that lots of third house activity is there in his life. So mostly he will be traveling due to work. So maybe he may not stay at one place for long. His work will be that kind that he will have to stay at one place for some time. Then he may have to go to some other place and stay there for some time. And this way, he can keep changing his place of living due to that. And he can even consider his workplace as kind of second home. So that can also be the case. So long hours of working. Yeah, so he can even create a small sleeping space also, resting space also in his office. That kind of promise we can see. And this Mars sitting here is looking at this Jupiter. Mars is eighth lord and third lord. So that also creates lots of restlessness. Like this factor that Mars is looking at this Jupiter would not make him allowed to live at one place for long. He can keep shifting to places, different places, and he may not spend a lot of time close to his birthplace. And moon is the natural significator of mother, and fourth house is also the house of mother. Moon is placed in the 12th from fourth house, that is in the third house, with Ketu, and Mars is looking at Jupiter from third house itself. So this hints that the relationship with mother may not be very close. Mother can be a very strong personality. Fourth Lord Jupiter is placed in the 10th house. She can be very strong personality, and she can have her own leadership uh, qualities in her personality. But there can be some coldness in the relationship between this man and his mother. And that can be, I think, mother can be closer to the younger sibling because moon is placed in the third house. Third house is the house of younger sibling. So that is also there. And so I don't see very close relationship with the mother. And when I was analyzing third house, I said that this man can, third house can play a very important role in his life and his work, and which is further confirmed because Saturn is placed in the sixth house. So third house is 10th from where Saturn is placed. So Saturn is looking at this third house with his 10th drishti. So third house and its activities can play very important role in his karma in this life. Karma mostly, for most people, karma is connected to our work and career. So third house is going to play a very important role in karma and career. And then fourth lord is also placed in the house, 10th house of career and profession only. So of course, this person keeps moving and traveling a lot. So he doesn't live at one place for long, and he is into lots of, you know, enterprising and corporate initiatives that he makes for his and whatever organization he works for. So one month he lives in one country, then he goes to some other country. So he is kind of a very working as a senior level sales and marketing manager of his company. So it's kind of not so stable. One place, he is not living at one place for long in his life, and he does lots of meetings and lots of traveling also, and lots of uh, uh, advertising and new initiatives he takes for his company, new plannings he makes. So all those things he keeps doing. He is kind of, although he is working in a company, but he is kind of working as a kind of he himself owns the company, and he is the man who is kind of taking new initiatives for his company, and he is showing all the enterprising abilities also. So all those things keep happening. So domestic life, although he will have good places to live, he will stay in good hotels wherever he go, because Jupiter is looking uh, From 10th house, Jupiter is looking at the 4th house, but he may not stay at one place for a long time. And Jupiter and Venus are well placed, so he may travel in good vehicles. He will have good car. He will, when he travels in public transport, like when he goes from one country to the other in a aeroplane, he will travel in business class kind of thing. That all those things will happen because there is a good connection between Venus and fourth lord. Now, this is very interesting. Fifth house ruler is Saturn. Fifth house is Capricorn sign, and Saturn is retrograde. Whenever some house ruler is retrograde or vakri, there can be some past life pending karma related to the affairs of this house. Here it is fifth house. Now, what is fifth house? Fifth house is progeny, children, and the fifth house is your love life also. So it is possible that some kind of pending karma can be there in the life of this person that he is carrying from some past life related to children or love life or some lover. So, and this fifth lord is well placed with Jupiter, like they are mutually trying to each other. And this fifth lord is also well placed with respect to the planet of love, Venus. So, love has come into his life, and he has also got one son. So, one child is also there. But as I was saying, this fifth lord is retrograde. So, he has adopted one daughter also. So, I was talking about that pending karma related to fifth house. And see, Saturn, retrograde Saturn, who is fifth lord, is placed in the sixth house, which is anyway the house of debt. So he had to destiny, his destiny made him adopt a daughter in this life because maybe there was some pending karma, some debt that he had to pay. So he had to adopt a child, although he already had a son, but he still had to adopt a child to fulfill that condition that he is carrying some past life debt. So that is there. And fifth house ruler in the sixth can also mean that the relationship with his child, with his own child, the son that he had, who is his biological child, is not very good. It's little conflicting. So again, retrograde Saturn, some past life karmic pattern would be there. Maybe in the past life, the son was a father of him and he had not behaved as a son. This man was son to that present life son in some past life, and he didn't behave well with him. So in this life, uh, this that soul who was earlier father, he has become son to him, to this man. And there is like the present life, no, his son, this man's son does not behave very well with him, and he has lots of conflict with that son. Jupiter is the natural karaka for progeny, and Jupiter is placed in the Ardra nakshatra. Ardra nakshatra often gives you reason to cry. So he spends, he has lots of pain in his life due to this son, because he has lots of conflict with this son. And other than that, what I can see, seventh lord is Jupiter, who is placed in the 10th house in the Ardra nakshatra in the Gemini sign, and is seen by Mars. So there can be, see, seventh house ruler in the 10th house is a good placement for marriage. But this drishti of Mars falling, where Mars is eighth lord also and third lord also, is little not so good. So it so happened that this man married, when he married for the first time, his first marriage did not survive even 1 year. He had a quick, like less than 1 year, he had a divorce. And when you marry first time and you have a divorce, and then you marry second time, after that first marriage is totally gone, and the divorce has also taken place, then that second marriage you see from the second house, which is eighth from the seventh house. So now, since second house is very strong, second Lord Venus is placed there. So uh, his second marriage is very stable and very kind of fairly good. He is happy with his second marriage. So first marriage had problem, but overall married life experience for this man is good, as it is expected from the placement of seventh Lord in the 10th. And also the fact that Saturn is looking at eighth house from his third drishti, where Aries Rashi is falling, Aries sign is falling, which is the sign of debilitation of Saturn. And Saturn is also kind of seeing Mars, and Mars is seeing Saturn. So Saturn is kind of afflicting the eighth house. So an eighth house is second from the seventh house, so it provides the sustenance to the marriage. So Saturn harmed the sustenance factor also of the first house, of the first marriage, and first marriage could not survive for long, and it broke very quickly after marriage. And within 1 year of his marriage, he had a divorce, and then after few years from that, he married second time, and that is a quite a stable marriage because of this strong second house. Uh, Again, one more interesting thing that I see, that he has ninth house. If I move to ninth house, ninth house ruler Venus is placed in his own sign in the second. Uh, it is not, it's a good overall good placement, but not very good, because from, if you count from ninth house, second house is 6 houses away. So it's not a good angle, but still, since Venus is placed in his own sign, so it's a good placement. So he had fairly good working of ninth house. So he had his father lived for 30 years till, after his birth. So, and also sun is there in the first. So father, he had a fairly good experience, and presence of father in his life. And he is quite a knowledgeable person. He is very wise. He keeps on studying many books, and he believes in engaging in philosophical discussion, and he reads lots of spiritual books also. So ninth house is fairly good, but there was one problem, and Rahu is placed, so he is also interested in other religions, apart from the religion of his birth, so foreign religion also. But the problem is that, see, ninth house naturally belongs to Jupiter and Sun, and Rahu is placed here. So Rahu is the enemy of both Jupiter and Sun. So it can create some ups and downs in the working of ninth house. So uh, this guy is very ambitious. He wants to be known as a wise man, and he wants to be known as someone who knows a lot and who is very spiritual, very philosophical. Uh, and ninth house is also the house of long distance travels. I have, since ninth lord is fairly well placed, not very good place, but well placed in his own sign. So, and Rahu is also there. So he goes on many foreign travels, and he has many interactions with the foreigners. All those things are there. And since Rahu is placed there, he was also fascinated with foreign education. So he went to study engineering uh, in some American university. Why engineering? Because fifth Lord Saturn and this Mars, they are mutually connected. They are looking at each other. Whenever there is a cruel planet influencing fifth house, then you are interested in technical subjects. So he went to study engineering in America. But this Rahu placed here, and Rahu being the co-ruler of the sixth house, because Rahu also rules Aquarius along with Saturn. And Rahu placed here, creating ups and downs. So he was distracted. When he went to America, he got distracted into many things, and he did not focus well in his studies. And Rahu is placed in the house which is naturally ruled by Jupiter and Sun. So Rahu is not going to do very well for the working of this house. So he could not complete his degree. So he quit that course in the middle, and he dropped out, and he came home. And then, without having a degree, still he has managed to have a very good career, because 10th lord is well placed in the first house in his sign of exaltation. So, and along with sun, so he has very good career. He has attained quite a senior position in his organization, and he is doing immensely well. So I hope this is a very basic analysis. When I do analysis for my clients, I can go in a lot more detail. But yes, for the sake of basic learning of everyone in this group, I just attempted to create a very basic video of how the horoscope is analyzed. So I hope you people would find it interesting. Uh, and just in case, if you want to learn astrology from me, you can write to me on my email, which is cosmicbond7@gmail.com, or you can also send me a message on my Facebook Messenger. So, friends, I hope you enjoyed uh, watching this video. I would wait for your feedback and comments. God bless you all.